Big transfer noise today, and Chelsea are right at the centre of it with a massive move for Morgan Rogers apparently racing ahead. There's also fresh talk around Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, Arsenal and Liverpool, with a few clubs circling the same names. Barcelona's deadline game over Julián Álvarez adds another layer, while Juventus are being linked to 2 goalkeeping options. So there's plenty to get through in today's signing room. Let's start with the done deals. Chelsea are reported to have agreed a £117 million deal with Aston Villa for Morgan Rogers, which would make him the most expensive player in British history. ESPN say terms are already in place on a 6-year contract, and a medical is due on Monday, while The Guardian also says Chelsea are poised to complete the move. Arsenal were also keen and made contact with Villa this month, but Chelsea are said to have moved quickly after tracking his progress for a long time. This is being framed as a near-finished deal rather than a simple link, so the signs are very strong. Now, the hot rumours. Chelsea are also said to have held formal talks with Crystal Palace over Maxence LACROIX, with TalkSport putting Palace's valuation at around £55 million. That keeps this one in the advanced bracket, because it's not just interest, there have been proper discussions. The report doesn't mention agreement or personal terms, so it's not at the finish line yet. But with a price already attached and direct contact underway, this is one to watch closely. Team Talk say Aston Villa have held talks with Chelsea over the possibility of signing Nicolas Jackson this summer. That alone pushes it beyond idle speculation, because actual discussions are now being reported. The story doesn't give a fee or say how advanced the talks are, but it does show Villa and Chelsea are in contact. On the evidence here, this is one to keep on the radar as a genuine live option. The same Team Talk report also says Aston Villa have held talks with Chelsea over Alejandro Garnacho. It's the same setup as the Nicolas Jackson story, which suggests Villa are actively exploring options with Chelsea rather than just being loosely linked. There's no fee attached and no sign of completion, so it remains early within the negotiation process. Still, once formal talks are mentioned, you have to treat it as a real piece of summer business chatter. Barcelona have set Atlético Madrid a July 31st deadline to accept their offer for Julián Álvarez, ESPN report. That gives the story real urgency, because deadlines usually mean a club is trying to force movement one way or another. There's still no sign in the snippet that Atlético have accepted, so it's not done yet. But with Barcelona putting a date on it, this is one of the sharper live negotiations in today's roundup. And finally, the one still on the radar. Arsenal are being linked with a free transfer move for John Stones if William Saliba's injury proves to be long-term, according to The Sun. The report says Arsenal are lining up a short-term deal and are considering the England defender as a cover option. There's no suggestion of talks, just conditional planning around Saliba's fitness. So for now this sits firmly in the speculative category, but it's a name that has landed on Arsenal's list. Hull City have joined other European clubs in the race for Leon Bailey, with the Athletic saying he would prefer to stay in England. The key detail here is that it's framed as a race, not a bid or talks, so this is still at an early stage. Aston Villa remain the club he's being linked away from, but there's no fee or formal offer mentioned. Hull's involvement makes it a little more interesting, but this still looks like a monitoring story rather than a live negotiation. The Mail say Lazio are targeting West Ham's Aaron WAN-BISSAKA, while Arsenal are also listed as a possible option. That means 2 clubs are now being attached to him, but the report stops short of any concrete negotiations. There's no fee, no talks and no indication of who is leading the chase. For now, this feels like a watchlist story with Lazio and Arsenal both credited with interest. Juventus' #1 goalkeeping target is said to be Emiliano Martínez, according to Calciomercato. The same report also says Juventus are keeping an eye on David de Gea, so there are 2 names in the frame. But at this stage the wording is about targets and monitoring, not talks or a bid. That keeps Martínez as the main name, with de Gea as the alternative they're tracking. David de Gea is also mentioned by Calciomercato as Juventus keep an eye on him alongside Emiliano Martínez. The report does not suggest an offer or any formal contact, just that he is being monitored. Because Juventus' main target is still described as Martínez, de Gea reads more like a backup option. So this is interest, not progress, and that's where it stays for now. Caught offside say Liverpool want Daniel Svensson from Borussia Dortmund, but Arsenal may compete for his signature. That puts both Premier League clubs into the frame, with Dortmund still the source club being mentioned. There's no fee, no bid and no talk cited, so it remains an early chase. At the moment, this is a simple linked and rival interest story rather than an advanced move. Gazzetta dello Sport say Rafael LEAO would prefer a move to the Premier League rather than Turkey, with Aston Villa named as a potential destination. That gives Villa a place in the conversation, but it's still framed as preference and possibility rather than contact. There's no fee and no sign of negotiations, which keeps it firmly at the early end of the market. For now, it's an intriguing link, but not one with real movement behind it yet. If you want the daily transfer picture without the fluff, hit subscribe and come back tomorrow for the next roundup. We'll keep tracking which rumors are heating up and which ones are just noise.